Everyone has an opinion on Reese and Clark.
Says by the time Angel Reese is done, she's going to be the Michael Jordan of WNBA.
She said about Angel Reese?
She said Angel Reese, by the time she retires, can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time she retires,
she's not Angel Reese. She's not Caitlin Clark. Not as of yet. She's just not.
Stephen A. Smith just said what many people don't want to hear. This isn't a rivalry anymore. The Indiana Fever destroyed the Chicago Sky by 35 points, exposing a gap between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese that's becoming impossible to ignore. Clark is breaking records.
She broke the WNBA single-season rookie mark for assists. Stephen A.
She's the real deal. Listen, I believed in her from day one. You knew that she would only get better and better.
Filling arenas and transforming women's basketball.
And back to Clark, rewriting WNBA record books. We've seen the triple doubles and all that stuff.
Reese, meanwhile, is coming off a 4-point performance that has critics questioning her offense, her impact, and even her superstar status. Then there's the Michael Jordan comparison, which now carries even more weight. So is Angel simply struggling, or has the hype finally caught up with reality?
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Today, we're breaking down Stephen A.'s brutal assessment and what comes next. The rivalry just got exposed. Stephen A. Smith didn't come to play games. He came to speak facts. And his first fact? This isn't a rivalry. Not when you're losing by 35 points. The Indiana Fever are on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Stephen A. made it crystal clear. You can't call something a rivalry when one side is getting absolutely demolished. And that's exactly what happened. The Fever beat down Chicago 93-58, with Clark's triple-double leading the way.
It was a fantastic start to the season, not just for the Fever as a team, but for Caitlin Clark, starting her sophomore campaign with a triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. She now has 3 career triple-doubles. That's tied for third most all time.
That's not a rivalry. That's a beatdown. That's a masterclass. That's one player showing the world exactly why she's the face of the league, while the other player is wondering where her offensive game went. But Stephen A. didn't stop there. Oh no, he went further. He said, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own that. And that's the part that stings, isn't it? Because Stephen A. isn't saying Angel Reese is bad.
Throughout Reese is weak. By the way, you know who you are. Keep your money, Angel. I got you. Big props to him. Don't blame him one bit. We all should have felt that way because she didn't deserve that ejection.
He's saying she's not Caitlin Clark. And that's not an insult. That's just reality. Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent. She's breaking records that have stood for decades.
Caitlin Clark now has 3,528 points in her career. She has officially broken Kelsey Plo's record.
She's drawing crowds that the WNBA has never seen before. She's the Steph Curry of women's basketball, pulling up from anywhere on the court and making it look effortless. And Angel Reese? She's a really good player who happens to play in the same era as a legend. There's no shame in that. The shame comes when you start comparing yourself to Michael Jordan and putting up 4 points. Stephen A. Smith said it best. First of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you're losing by 35 points. And he's right. A rivalry requires competition. It requires both sides showing up and delivering. It requires moments that make you say, wow, these two are special.
Angel Reese is a very good passer out of the post. You're going to get better looks if you get her touches.
But when one side is getting blown out by 35 points, while their supposed rival sits on the bench injured, that's not a rivalry. That's a reality check. And Stephen A. Smith was more than happy to deliver that reality check on national television. The Michael Jordan comparison. The whispers have been getting louder, and Stephen A. Smith heard them loud and clear. The same whispers that claim Angel compared herself to Michael Jordan. I modeled my game after him as a kid. I used to mimic everything he did on the court, both offensively and defensively. We're very similar players. Wait, very similar? Michael Jordan reading that statement probably choked on his steak. Similar to how, in the way that they both wear basketball shoes? Because it sure isn't in the scoring department. Jordan averaged 30 points a game for his career.
Michael Jordan is averaging 33 a game against the league, 44 a game against Cleveland.
Angel is out here treating double digits like a rare solar eclipse. Stephen A. Smith probably sat back, cleaned his glasses, stared at that box score, and hollered to the heavens, 4 points. This young lady better understands this isn't LSU anymore. Because she's not wrong. The Wanbay is not a charity. They don't hand out all-star ballots for high-effort cardio. You don't get minutes for memories. And right now, Angel's box scores look like someone misprinted them. 4 points isn't just underwhelming. It's embarrassing when you've been compared to Michael Jordan. It's embarrassing when you've been called the future of the league.
He was killing it out there.
Yeah.
They were also giving us a lot of Angel Reese as well. And she made some headlines herself.
It's embarrassing when your rival sits on the bench and still outshines you. The internet, as you'd expect, had a field day with the Michael Jordan comparison. Surely she meant DeAndre Jordan, one user joked. She plays like Patrick Ewing after the Monstars took his skills, another wrote. And Stephen A. Smith? He didn't have to say a word about those jokes. He let the numbers do the talking. Because here's the thing about Stephen A. He's been around long enough to know when someone is living in a fantasy world. He's seen players talk big and fail to deliver. He's seen hype trains derail before they even left the station. And he's seen Angel Reese go from college hero to professional liability in record time.
Atlanta Dream star Angel Reese has made WNBA history. She is now the fastest player ever to reach 1,000 career rebounds. Reese got there in just 79 games.
But Stephen A. didn't just criticize Angel. He put her in context. He talked about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level, and they never got this kind of shine. And that's the uncomfortable truth. Angel Reese is polarizing, not because of her game. Let's be honest, her game is solid, but not transcendent. She's polarizing because of the attention she gets, the marketing push, the NIL deals, the media machine that decided she was going to be the face of something. And that attention comes with expectations. When you're on billboards, when you're in commercials, when you're being compared to Michael Jordan, you better produce. 4 points isn't producing. 4 points is a cry for help. Reese's biggest wake-up call. What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time for her pregame catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game?
Angel Reese took the floor for Cynthia Cooper's team in the 2026 WNBA All-Star Game, where the Bayou Barbie decked out in an all-pink fit and dished out 4 assists and 5 rebounds to close out All-Star.
Stephen A. Smith didn't say that directly, but you could see it in his eyes. You could hear it in his voice. He was looking at a player who seemed more interested in her brand than her game. And that's the problem, isn't it? Angel isn't just playing basketball anymore. She's fighting to stay relevant in a league that will move on from hype faster than a Twitter trend. Stephen A. Smith knows this. He's seen it before. Players who come in with all the flash and flair, who treat the game like a fashion show instead of a competition. And he's seen what happens to those players when the hype dies down. They get exposed. They get forgotten. They become cautionary tales. Let's be honest. There's nothing wrong with having style. There's nothing wrong with looking good while you're playing. But when the pregame outfit gets more attention than your on-court production, something has gone seriously wrong. When you're spending more time coordinating your gloves with your hat than you're spending in the gym working on your finishing around the rim, you've got your priorities backward. And Stephen A. Smith, with all his decades of experience covering sports, knows exactly what that looks like. This was supposed to be her breakout year, the moment she proves she's more than just an attitude with highlight clips. Instead, she's turned into the Wanbei's version of a viral TikTok trend. Big hype, quick drop-off, and now she's the punchline in highlight reels. Remember the milk crate challenge?
New challenge sweeping social media. It is called the Milk Crate Challenge. You stack up a bunch of milk crates, like a pyramid. You walk to the top, and then you walk to the bottom from the other side.
That's Angel's season. Started high, took a shaky step, and now we're all watching her fall. Just not fast enough for the rest of us. The camera caught her in a glaze like she was mentally applying for a spin-off series. The broadcast crew tried damage control. Well, she contributed elsewhere. But elsewhere? How? With a cameo in a reality show, maybe? She spent the evening running laps in sneakers that haven't seen the rim since college. 4 points, 12 rebounds. A whole lot of nothing in between. And Stephen A. Smith watched it all unfold with that look on his face that says, "I told you so," without actually saying it. But here's the thing that really gets under Stephen A.'s skin, and you can hear it in his voice every time he talks about Angel Reese. It's not that she's a bad player. She's not. She's a really good player with incredible rebounding instincts and a motor that doesn't quit. The problem is that she's treating the NBA like it's a fashion show with a basketball game attached. She's showing up with the lashes done, the nails perfect, the outfit coordinated.
She shared a post on her Instagram. You know, she's had a stellar season. This is the video that is actually still on her TikTok. And she got some pretty serious pushback.
And then putting up 4 points. That's not a star. That's a model who happens to play basketball. And Stephen A. Smith? He's not here to sugarcoat anything. He's not here to protect feelings. He's here to tell the truth. And the truth is that Angel Reese is not living up to the hype. She's not producing on the court. She's not scoring. She's not impacting the game in the way that a player of her stature should. And until she does, Stephen A. is going to keep calling her out. Because that's what he does. He holds players accountable.
We ain't talking about fairness. We're talking about business. And when Angel Reese comes out and says, she ain't the only one everybody's watching, they're watching me too, they're watching others, a day later she gets ejected. I ask a simple question. I don't have an answer.
He tells them when they're falling short. And right now, Angel Reese is falling short. You think coaches in the 1BA are going to give you 30 minutes just for personality? Please. The minute your efficiency drops, so does your playing time. If you're not scoring, assisting, or defending with impact, you're just taking up space on the court. And when you're taking up space while looking like you just stepped off a runway, that's not a good look. That's not a player. That's a distraction. The real stat hoarders of the 1BA, where the stats don't matter so long as you look fierce. Because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females doing their thing on the W1BA level, and they never got this kind of shine. And now Angel Reese is getting all that shine, and she's responding with 4-point nights and pregame fashion shows.
The Chicago Sky's Angel Reese is now the first professional athlete to walk in the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and look at her go. The WNBA star said she put in a lot of work to prep for the show.
Stephen A. Smith isn't saying Angel Reese can't be great. He's saying she needs to get her priorities straight. She needs to spend less time on the catwalk and more time in the gym. She needs to stop treating scoring like a luxury item and start treating it like a necessity. Because right now, she's not producing. And in this league, you either produce or you get replaced. Simple as that. And Stephen A. Smith will be there to tell the world about it. Loudly, passionately, and with absolutely no filter. Stephen A. exposes the gap. This is where Stephen A. Smith really drives the point home. Because it's not just about what Angel Reese isn't doing. It's about what Caitlin Clark is doing. And the contrast is staggering. Caitlin Clark, despite being double-teamed, elbowed, and iced, still puts up points, dishes assists, and hits threes like she's playing in her backyard gym. She doesn't just show up, she shows out. And the stats don't lie.
Clark from way downtown, she hits a three! My goodness. Watch the separation.
She's tied for the third most triple-doubles in 1BA history, and she's played only 50 games. 50 games. That's not just good, that's historic. Stephen A. Smith talked about Caitlin Clark with the kind of reverence that only comes from watching greatness. She's like Steph Curry. She could pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. And he's right. Caitlin Clark is transcendent.
Caitlin Clark always ready to make a play.
This chops up the game a little bit more with the fast pace and transition looks that the Fever want to get.
She's a once-in-a-generation talent who is redefining what's possible in women's basketball. She's breaking records, drawing crowds, and making people care about the WNBA in ways they never have before. And Angel Reese? She's fighting for relevance. She's fighting to stay in the conversation. She's fighting to prove that she's more than just a viral moment. But here's the thing that Stephen A. Smith wants everyone to understand. Caitlin Clark isn't just better than Angel Reese. She's on a completely different level. And that's not an opinion. That's a fact. The numbers prove it. The performances prove it. The impact on the game proves it. When Caitlin Clark plays, the world watches.
Caitlin Clark initially caught the nation's attention by reminding everyone of the game of Battleship. She can sink it from anywhere with precision. But we cannot let that pure shooting stroke overshadow her talent as a passer, too.
When Angel Reese plays, people check the box score and say, wait, that's it? There's a difference between being a star and being a superstar. Caitlin Clark is a superstar. Angel Reese is still trying to figure out if she can be a star. Stephen A. Smith doesn't hate Angel Reese. In fact, he's been one of her biggest supporters. He's talked about how special she is, how much potential she has, how she could be a huge star in this league. But he's also not going to pretend that she's something she's not. And right now, she's not Caitlin Clark. She's not Michael Jordan. She's not even close to being the best player in the league. And until she starts putting up numbers that back up the hype, Stephen A. is going to keep saying it. Loudly, passionately, and with absolutely no filter. The 4-point night that broke the internet. Let's talk about that night. The night when Angel Reese managed a whopping 4 points as if she was on a scoring diet while sitting atop a throne of rebounds. The night when Caitlin Clark was iced on the bench like she's posing for a sports drink ad, half wrapped in ice, the other half wrapped in hope. And Angel still couldn't seize the moment. She had the ball, the spotlight, the chance to shine, and still managed a stat line that screams underwhelming. Stephen A. Smith looked at that performance and probably shook his head in disbelief. 4 points. In a game where your biggest rival is sitting on the bench injured.
That'll be her first, but all eyes were on Caitlin Clark, who has yet scored.
Man, that left foot. That looks very painful.
In a game where you have the opportunity to show the world that you're the real deal. In a game where you could have silenced all the critics and proved that the hype was real. Instead, you put up 4 points. You got blown out by 35. You let the moment pass you by. And now Stephen A. Smith has to go on television and explain to the world why you're not living up to expectations. But here's the thing about Stephen A. Smith. He's fair. He gives credit where credit is due. He talked about Angel's rebounding. He talked about her hustle. He talked about the fact that she's a special player with a bright future. But he also talked about the fact that she's not scoring. She's not producing. She's not delivering on the massive expectations that have been placed on her shoulders. And that's a problem. A big problem. A problem that Stephen A. Smith is not going to ignore. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. Burn. You know it's a rough night when even the broadcast crew tries damage control. Well, she contributed elsewhere. Elsewhere? How? With a cameo in a reality show, maybe. She spent the evening running laps in sneakers that haven't seen the rim since college. The camera even caught her in a glaze, like she was mentally applying for a spin-off series. And Stephen A. Smith? He saw all of it. He saw the missed layups. He saw the blown opportunities. He saw a player who looks lost on offense.
Angel Reese was trying to put her shoe on, blocked it. Look, she's still holding her shoe in her hand.
There were some words exchanged after this play.
And he said what everyone else was thinking. What does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. The truth Angel Reese needs. Here's where Stephen A. Smith delivers the knockout blow. He doesn't just criticize Angel Reese. He tells her exactly what she needs to do to fix the problems that are holding her back. And that's what makes this criticism different. Stephen A. isn't simply saying Angel Reese isn't good enough. He's saying the talent is there, but the production isn't matching the expectations. Because the 1BA doesn't wait forever. At this level, potential only gets you so far. Eventually, you have to turn that potential into production. You have to make an impact every time you step onto the floor. And right now, that's where Angel Reese is falling short. Stephen A. knows Reese has legitimate strengths. She's an aggressive rebounder. She has excellent instincts around the glass. She plays with physicality, energy, and a motor that seems to run non-stop. Those qualities aren't fake. They're the foundation of a good player, but they're not enough by themselves.
Angel Reese is a terrific player who's going to be a star in the WNBA. I believe in her. She's not Angel Reese. She's not Caitlin Clark.
The biggest weakness is obvious: scoring. Reese needs to develop a reliable offensive game. She needs to become more comfortable finishing around the rim, converting the opportunities she creates, and becoming someone her team can trust when it needs points. Rebounding can keep you involved in a game, but scoring changes the scoreboard. And when you're being discussed as a potential superstar, the scoreboard matters. That's why Stephen A.'s message is so direct. Stop treating scoring like a luxury. Start treating it like a necessity. If Angel wants to be considered one of the faces of the 1BA, she can't simply rely on hustle and rebounding. She has to become a complete offensive threat. She has to give defenses another reason to worry about her. Otherwise, teams can focus on limiting her strengths while forcing her to beat them in the area where she's still developing. And then there's the bigger issue: expectations. If you're going to call yourself a star, people are going to judge you like one. That's the reality of professional sports. Nobody expects perfection, especially from a young player, but stars are expected to show up when the moment gets bigger. Stephen A. put it bluntly: if you're going to carry yourself like a star, you have to perform like a star, especially in important games. That's where the Michael Jordan comparison becomes relevant again. Nobody is saying Angel Reese has to become Michael Jordan, but when you compare your game to one of the greatest players in basketball history,
This is what I'm talking about here. Career 30-point per game scorer, 10 times leading the league in scoring with the scoring title. This is what Michael Jordan did. This is Michael Jordan. This is what we're talking about right here, okay?
you're automatically creating a much higher standard for yourself. Every big performance strengthens the comparison. Every poor performance makes people question it. And right now, the numbers aren't helping her case. But here's something that gets lost in all the criticism. Stephen A. Smith isn't necessarily writing Angel Reese off. In fact, his criticism suggests the opposite. He's criticizing her because he believes there's something worth developing. If he thought there was no potential, there would be nothing to discuss. There would be no reason to demand more. But Reese has shown enough talent to make people believe she can become much better than what we're seeing right now. That's why the solution isn't to run from the criticism, it's to use it. Angel Reese doesn't need to become Caitlin Clark. She doesn't need to become Michael Jordan. She doesn't need to copy anyone else's career. She needs to become the best version of herself, but that version has to be more complete. She needs to improve her finishing. She needs to become more efficient. She needs to become more dangerous offensively. She needs to turn her rebounding ability into additional scoring opportunities. And most importantly, she needs to prove that she can deliver when her team needs her most. Because the 1BA is brutally simple. You can have personality, you can have the confidence, you can have the brand, you can have millions of people talking about you. But eventually, the ball goes up, and when it does, none of those things can score for you. Only your game can. That's the truth, Stephen A. Smith is trying to force Angel Reese to confront. The criticism isn't the end of her story. It could be the moment that changes it. She can keep defending the hype, or she can start building the production that makes the hype undeniable. She can keep answering critics with words, or she can answer them with performances. Because the best response isn't another interview. It isn't another social media post. It isn't another headline. It's a dominant game. And until Angel Reese starts putting those games together consistently, the questions aren't going anywhere. Stephen A. will keep talking. The fans will keep debating. The comparisons will keep coming. But the final answer won't come from Stephen A. Smith. It will come from Angel Reese herself. One possession, one basket, and one performance at a time. So,
Angel Reese is on the move. The WNBA star traded today from Chicago to Atlanta.
where does Angel Reese go from here? The answer won't come from another headline, another outfit, or another viral moment. It has to come on the court. Stephen A. Smith may be brutally honest, but his message is simple. The talent is there, the potential is there, and the opportunity is still there. What Reese does next is up to her. She can let the criticism define her, or she can turn it into fuel. Caitlin Clark has already set the standard.
Caitlin Clark initially caught the nation's attention by reminding everyone of the game of Battleship.
And now Reese has to decide whether she's ready to chase it. Because in the one-bay, hype gets attention, but production earns respect. The next chapter starts now.